Let me tell you something nobody warned us about. It's not the wrinkles, or the memory lapses, or the fact that your body sounds like a bowl of Rice Krispies every time you stand up. It's the silence. The long, aching silence in a marriage that used to be loud with love, laughter. And let's be honest, sex. I am 68. My wife, Anne, is 66. We've been married for 46 years. That's 16,790 days, give or take. And somewhere in that sea of routine, we lost each other. Not in a dramatic, stormy way. More like slow erosion, like a shoreline disappearing one grain of sand at a time. Until we did something bold. We hired a sex therapist. Yeah, at almost 70 years old. And that decision saved our marriage and brought us back to life in ways I didn't think were possible anymore. Let me tell you how it happened and how you might just want to pick up the phone yourself. Let's start with the obvious question. Why would a couple our age even bother? We were still affectionate, still friendly, still made each other coffee in the morning. But the spark? Gone. Poof. We hadn't had sex in, well, let's just say Obama was still in office. It didn't start that way. Anne and I had great chemistry for most of our marriage, but life got in the way. Careers, kids, bills, illnesses, menopause, prostate issues, sleep apnea machines. Pick your poison. Over time, our intimacy shrank down to forehead kisses and side hugs. I thought it was normal. She thought it was sad, and we never talked about it. That was the real problem. She felt rejected. I felt ashamed. We both assumed the other wasn't interested. But one night, we watched a show about older couples rediscovering intimacy. And Anne turned to me and said, "Do you think we're too old to try?" And I said, "Try what?" She said, "Everything. We found Dr. Lee through a friend, certified sex therapist, specializes in couples over 60. I was skeptical. I thought it'd be awkward, clinical, maybe even embarrassing. But Dr. Lee was calm, curious, and very, very direct. Her first question, "When was the last time you felt wanted by your partner?" That hit us both like a punch to the gut. We spent the first few sessions just talking. Not about positions or fantasies or toys yet, but about what went missing. Turns out, we'd both been holding back. Anne was afraid I didn't find her attractive anymore. I was terrified of failing physically. Erectile dysfunction, fatigue, you name it. Dr. Lee said something I'll never forget. Intimacy isn't about performance. It's about presence. Here's what we learned that changed everything. 1. Communication is foreplay. I know, sounds like a meme. But talking openly, without blame, about what you want, what you miss, what scares you. That was more intimate than any bedroom move. 2. Touch doesn't have to lead to sex. We relearned how to touch, hands, cheeks, arms, backs, without the pressure of going all the way. It rebuilt trust and comfort. 3. Scheduled intimacy isn't boring, it's liberating. Spontaneity is nice, but when you're tired, achy, or just out of sync, planning time together can take off the pressure. Wednesdays at 7 became our night. We joked about it, yes. But it worked. 4. You are allowed to laugh in bed. One time I pulled a hamstring mid-romance. Anne got a cramp in her foot. We laughed so hard we couldn't breathe. And that, right there, was better than sex, although we did eventually get to the sex. 5. Lubrication, medication, and toys are your friends. Dr. Lee introduced us to tools, not sleazy, not shameful, just solutions to help us reconnect. Vaginal moisturizers, ED medication, even a couples massager. We were like teenagers in a very well-informed science lab. We didn't just have better sex, we had a better marriage. Anne started holding my hand again. I started looking at her the way I did when we were 23 and she wore that yellow dress that made me forget my name. Our arguments softened. Our silences weren't as heavy. Sex became fun again, not a performance, not a duty, but an exploration. And let me be clear, we're not swinging from chandeliers. Well, once, but that's a story for another day. We're just connected again. And the bedroom? It's not just about sex. It's about remembering that we chose each other, and still do. So if you're watching this wondering if your relationship is too far gone, too quiet, too cold, or too old, let me say this. It's not too late. Here's what you can do. Start the conversation. Don't wait for the right time. There's no right time. Just honesty. Find a therapist who understands older couples. Not all therapists are trained in sexuality or age-related issues. Look for a certified sex therapist with experience in midlife and later life couples. Be patient with yourself and each other. This isn't about fixing you, it's about discovering new ways to connect. Stay curious. Your body changes. So does your desire. Let that be something to explore, not something to mourn. And above all, keep laughing. Laughter is the best lubricant, figuratively, sometimes literally. Our marriage isn't perfect, but it's alive. And that's more than I could say a few years ago. Hiring a sex therapist didn't just save our sex life. It saved us. So if you've been drifting, if you feel like roommates instead of lovers, or if you've just quietly given up on that part of your life, please don't. You deserve joy. You deserve touch. You deserve to feel wanted, even at 70. Especially at 70. Thanks for watching. If you're over 55 and you've ever felt confused, curious, or just craving something more, you're in the right place. This is Aged and Confused, where we talk honestly about love, sex, loss, reinvention, and everything they never warned us about after 50. So go ahead, hit subscribe, leave a comment, and tell us, have you ever thought about seeing a sex therapist? Would you? Have you? Let's keep the conversation going. It's never too late to feel alive again.